Welcome to Pokemon What If Season 2, where we will be exploring interesting possibilities by changing one small detail in the Pokemon universe and seeing how things play out. If you missed Season 1, there are plenty of great videos, including what if Pikachu had evolved, what if Red had encountered Missing No, and what if Gold had joined Team Rocket. 12 episodes await you, but today we are beginning Season 2. And what better way to begin the season by asking, what if Guzma was a champion? Well, actually, how would Guzma even become a champion? Sign in and get ready to comment below as we explore how Champion Guzma could come to be. We will begin today's Pokemon What If in the Alola region, but slightly before the lead protagonist arrives and the events of Sun and Moon actually took place. Guzma and his men were boss. One of the grunts had said, "Why aren't you a champion? Or at least a trial captain?"
You know why. They don't like my style. Those stiffs can't take it. I'm just too much for them.
So, you're saying you could beat them all? What about other regions? You think you could take on the legendary Lance? I read a magazine. He has 3 Dragonites, a Gyarados, Aerodactyl, and Charizard. Guzma shrugged.
It'd be child's play. They just don't want to see a guy like me in charge.
The grunts all looked at each other, thinking for a moment. Boss, we've been thinking. We think you're right. People around here mock us. They think we're fools. But we're trainers too. We should show them. You should show them. People like us can rise to the top. Guzma laughed for a moment, but then thought to himself.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It was at that moment Guzma had an idea.
If they refuse to make me a trial captain here, then perhaps I should become a gym leader somewhere else. Start a new life?
Guzma went and organized a flight to Kanto. As he began packing his things, his fellow teammates began worrying. Boss, where are you going?
I'm going to go where the first Pokemon were registered. I'm going to go take on that Lance guy. I'm going to Kanto.
And within a few days and some traveling, Guzma was there. Guzma was shocked with the lifestyle of the continent. It wasn't like it was in the Alola region. There was not as much water, unlike what that one article had said about home. Not surprised by the new Pokemon, Guzma was a very knowledgeable trainer. Though he acted different, he knew of other regions and wanted to start in Kanto. Finally arriving at the Elite Four, Guzma attempted to walk through before being barred at the gate by the guards.
There is no entry without at least 8 badges. That's the rules.
Guzma stepped back and realized it was just like the trials on his island.
Fine, where do I start? Where are these badges?
Shortly after, Guzma was banging on the door of the Viridian City gym, being greeted by an annoyed Blue Oak. "What's with those clothes? And the way you talk is really, lame." "Yeah, really lame."
It's the same here, huh? Well then, there's nothing more to talk about. Battle time. You, gym leader, will you give me your badge if I beat you, right?
After accepting his challenge and battling Blue, Guzma crushed him, but not before Blue mocked him one more time, and he was told to be smelt later.
If these people are all the same, and they think I'm a joke, then I'll crush all of them. I'll become the strongest trainer here, and it'll be an insult, since I'm not even from this region.
Guzma was infuriated by this. He wanted a new life. He wanted to become a gym leader, to beat everyone and prove how strong he could be for his team back in the Alola region. With that, Guzma came up with a plan.
All these trainers and gym leaders think I look and act crazy, but they seem to be stuck in the 90s. Hello, it's 2017, not 1999 anymore. I bet they're still worried about Y2K.
Laughing, he departed and left to collect the remaining badges. Battle after battle, it was the same. The gym leaders and the trainers laughed at the way he acted and dressed. But within one day, he had collected every gym badge they offered. Approaching the Elite Four again, he was permitted to enter this time, begrudgingly after the guards thought he was faking what he had accomplished. It would seem Guzma was one step away from becoming the champion.
Finally.
He said as he stocked up on potions and full restores.
This is it.
Entering the doors, these trainers were beyond those gym leaders. Guzma had seen power. The one called Brock had prehistoric Pokemon like Butops, and Sabrina had psychic Pokemon with tremendous strength named Alakazam. He shook his head and thought,
I'm here to prove myself, to prove to the world no matter how I look, how I act, I'll win.
Battling and overcoming the mind-crushing will, surviving the great ninja master, Koga, and his poison, countering and overcoming Bruno, enduring the darkness that was Karen, and finally, onto Lance. While the other trainers were cocky and berated him, the Elite Four were short and did not excessively speak. They were very professional trainers, but Lance was different. Lance explained that a trainer like him was ridiculous, that he was to represent elite trainers, to have come this far, and the way he, Guzma, was acting and carrying himself was no way for a gym leader or champion to act. Guzma was angered by this.
You dress up like a dragon, flaming red hair and a cape, and you lecture me? One of your Elite Four don't even wear a shirt or shoes, and another dresses up like a magician.
Lance was taken aback. Guzma was right. He and his colleagues had lost sight of who they were. They used to only care about strength and power, but now they, like many of the appointed gym leaders, are more concerned about tradition than being the most elite trainers. Guzma laughed.
You know I beat everyone in this region in one day. It's like a kid could do all this.
This struck Lance like bitter medicine. Enough talk. If you think you are strong, then let's see how you handle my dragons. I, Lance of the Elite Four, accept your challenge. Guzma was psyched out. It was almost as if music started playing, he thought. Guzma had little time to question it, knowing that all he was and what he was to become was on the line here and now. After battling for what seemed like hours, Guzma remained triumphant. Registering his Pokemon in the Hall of Fame, Guzma had done what he had set out to do, champion. A few days later, news reached all the regions of Guzma becoming the new Kanto champion. And as Guzma prepared to return, he noticed a lot of people were acting like him. He noticed kids and adults were cheering for him as he walked. Arriving at the airport, he had a fan club. Overcome by all of this, it was all he wanted, to be respected, to be admired, to be himself. Finally, Guzma was happy with himself and no longer needed to act so silly. But one among the crowd stared at him. And he, Guzma, stared back. It was piercing, like Lance, like the serious trainers of the Elite Four. He had a hat on with a Pokeball in the center, jeans and a jacket. He said nothing, just stared. Then Guzma realized what he had heard once. Lance had told him. There have been several champions throughout the years. A professor, 2 kids, one named Red, the other Blue. They were among the most powerful trainers I've ever witnessed. Guzma shouted at the kid.
Hey, what's your problem? You a mute? You don't speak?
Silence remained as the crowd knew who he was. A youngster shouted from the crowd, "That's Champion Red! He has challenged every powerful trainer in the entire world!" A Pikachu jumped off his shoulder and leapt forward towards Guzma.
Well then, I guess this is the final test, huh? Fine. So be it.
And from that point on, Guzma was ready to defend his title and inspire children and adults to be themselves and overcome all of those who wanted to see them fail. So, ladies and gentlemen, how did you think this Pokemon What If played out? Should it have played out another way? Please like and share my work and give a big thanks to my guest star, Scrafty, who played the part of Guzma. I could think of no one more fitting for the role.
I've been PokeStuff and thanks for watching.